Well, greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast, brought to you by Fifth Dimension. All right, this has been kind of a heavy day of connections. I had an interview with on the Moore Show about Mark Richards, and I got a lot of downloads afterwards. So I want to go into some of those. I believe it'll be helpful instead of some of my past video that wasn't exactly the most. Well, it got me into an interview, and the spirit world has a way of working. Let's put it that way. So basically, I feel feel like my energies are useful in this type of situation. Let's put it that way. At least to the spirit world, I'm just going by what what I'm getting, what they show me. Obviously, are you showing me the right thing? Blah blah blah. I believe so. Everything has good intentions, even if it's bizarre, in delivery. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I was like, I guess I'm retracting. Yeah, about Mark Richards. I believe he was involved with it. Did do it because but I was also feeling, and it was like they gave me a different way of looking at it. They weren't very clear about it, but at least like where he's in denial of it, obviously, and his denial is obviously gotten him to where he is. And this is kind of a complicated connection too, because now is like Mark Richards, if you just look it up, it's with Project Camelot and all that, and yeah, the whistleblower. Hopefully this is helpful, because I got like a deeper connection. I believe actually Mark Richards' higher self, in a positive way, is actually started connecting to me after the interview. So obviously we have the darker side here on our planet, who is sick in the mind and did enjoy the murder from what I can feel. So, and it was like a drug, and thought he can get away with it, and then we got caught. He was in denial he ever did anything. So you can say technically they put me into that vibration to feel that, but also for me to get, like, I believe the spirit world wanted me to be involved with this in some shape or form, to give my take on it, to look at things a little bit different. I mean, at least where this is all headed, let's put it that way. Meaning that like with Project Camelot, just that word Camelot, Knights of the Round Table, Camelot, even Guinevere and King Arthur's energies are there with Carrie Cassidy and Bill Ryan, and we probably wouldn't have this conversation if Bill Ryan was still with them. So even like with Mark Richards and that murder, it shows you how the spirit world works. It takes a while, and it all is in decision making too, at least in the negative and the light. It's like a decision can change things, meaning that this didn't have to happen to Mark Richards, didn't have to happen to Camelot. It did not. And, it could have went a different direction. It did not do that. So I believe there are other Mark Richards too, maybe not in that situation, but like manipulators that didn't get in, but he did, from what I'm gathering. And also, what I felt during the murder, they gave me a glimpse of the deep state. They made it more clear this time after the interview, because they showed me shadow energies around the murder and different timelines, just a bunch of stuff. It wasn't the clearest of what was going on. It was all manipulations going on, whatever it might be. But it's like they kind of used Richards in the manipulation. Of course, he's a manipulator himself, but they used him also in this situation to take out Camelot, Project Camelot, to go after the spiritual community and to sabotage it, to put it in a fishbowl, is what they showed me. It's like your mind's in a fishbowl, to swim around. You're not really going anywhere. It's like going into old topics, old information over and over and over and over, And because I believe Camelot still has the abilities to go in new directions and to help with the ascension. Instead, it's not going anywhere. Not really. Same old stuff, right? But they have the resources, and they're I don't know how, they're the biggest group. They're pretty big, that's for sure. So Riches was there to like continue that fishbowl mentality of have it go nowhere, basically. Even manipulate the space program energies. I believe there is a space program of some kind somewhere. I haven't been there, have not seen it. Astrally, they don't show it to me, but I imagine it exists somewhere. Something's gotta exist here, but either way. But his manipulating energies are, yeah, very dangerous. Just, so obviously the families that are involved with this, yeah, got attacked, and that's, center energies to that. But also Camelot is under attack itself and doesn't even know it. So yeah, there's this other, who else, who knows what else is going on there. Actually, there is an idea. But with Camelot, like in the past, we're seeing like Camelot again on the internet. Like, we're seeing the kind of Guinevere running the show, you can say, if that makes sense. And things didn't go too well back then, and right now it's not going so great right now. So it's seeing darkness, healing it. We're not perfect, but doing the best we can. I can say I got pulled into this through, vibrations, because they want my vibration, most insight into this. And it's just, the idea is to, see darkness, heal it, and move forward. That was the other thing. I felt, at least around Mark Richards, a lot of Anunnaki energies, like higher up Anunnaki. So if you want to have a secret space program, I don't think he mentioned that part. I don't know if he did, but I think he's connected to that vibration. Anunnaki is all around Project Camelot, though. Not in a good way. So it's kind of wrapped itself around it. So that's my take on it. At least it gives you an idea of how it operates. And obviously they're not too keen. They're just listening and believe they're not really doing anything. I don't know if we're going to get attacked or anything. It's like, but yeah, it's let's say a double-edged sword. It's funny, they gave me like the fishbowl vision of a mental fishbowl. That was quite fascinating. I don't normally see something like that. But as we go, the ideas, all the spiritual understanding is great. It's not easy, it's not perfect, but kind of your chakras and your guides is great and everything. But then there's whole another level. It's called darkness that we're here to learn from and grow, to defeat and heal and go into the ascension. This is what the ascension looks like. And some people don't want to get involved, they don't want to fight, but we're here to do something. Doing nothing doesn't help. So I figured, I wasn't sure if I should make this or not. It's been in my mind all day long. I felt Mark Richards' higher self, a positive self. Now also the families that were involved with this, they've had many incarnations with him before, and they're trying to help him, and nothing's working. They're like, because he's kind of a pain in the ass, so they're kind of sticking. I know it's hell being around him, obviously, but the families that got affected by this, they've I feel that they've always known him in other incarnations. They could probably pick that out. So he's always been a pain in the ass. And, I think he's trying to get help too. He is sick, but he doesn't seem to ever get help. But I don't know if he'll get help. I don't think he's going to get help in this lifetime. You never know. The way the system is, it's not looking good. So obviously there's different ways of looking at things, but well, we're basically going into ascension energies, and yeah, it's gonna get hard. It's gonna get ugly. You can say it's only a way to heal, because the dark here is basically holding humanity hostage, basically, and it doesn't care who it hurts. It wants to continue to hold on to the throat of reality. So you kind of have to step up a little bit when you feel like you need to. It might be controversial, whatever it might be, but we're going into times of an awakening that might be painful but necessary. Because the way the world is, I mean, the only way to change things is to do something new. So we're definitely going into a new timeline, that's for sure. Of ascension, of awareness. Even felt like when you go into darkness to bring in the light, or whatever it might be, neutral energy, whatever it is. You can't get, these beings can make themselves known, possibly, because they'll get so furious. At least you'll feel their vibrations moving around in the other dimensions. I felt one, at least I've had some feeling of that. You just feel the frustration of loss. So going after the spiritual community makes a lot of sense for these beings. So yeah, my connections basically was to get, from what I feel, is just to get me involved with connecting to that, and who knows what else. It also goes into Hollywood. I felt Hollywood's energy. Also felt like a cloning energy. Only thing I could pick up with that was like whatever is messing around with Mark Richards. There's a cloning something, like the beings that are involved with that are part of like a cloning type of system or something like that. I know it sounds very bizarre, but I would expect strange connections like that as we open up. We might not have the understanding of it. That's the thing, like doing it from a spiritual direct, a intuitive. Nothing's 100%, especially when you get blockages here and there and not seeing the full story. But that's why we need each other to open up those blockages and see things more clearly. It's like, look, we brought him to you. Now what are you going to do with him? You know what I mean? I kind of felt that way. Connecting with this, it's like I'm being brought to this situation for a reason at the right time, I guess, because there's more on the way of other ugly out there that needs to be, because nobody has all eyes to see what's going on. I felt Hollywood, which is interesting. But I guess you can say the manipulators involved with this whole thing, with Mark Richards somehow as Hollywood, maybe it's somewhere there. It's just, it's part of manipulation, so you can say that comes from the same vibration. The manipulation of Hollywood, same thing what's going on right now in Project Camelot. So yeah, it's kind of a tense. Hopefully this video makes sense. Hopefully I'm not making anybody mad or anything like that. At least I'm trying to put out the right vibration of the idea is to heal corruption, basically. And it's not the easiest thing to connect with. I'll give you a little bit more understanding. So around the murder, what Mark Richards was involved with, I saw a lot of what they showed me is like black and white energies, like this manipulation's going on. And it felt like a deep state type of vibration there. Like they're watching or something like that. I mean, who knows what they do in the other, I mean, they're everywhere. So they see things when it's gonna, they have reptilians and all this stuff. I know people don't see them, but this stuff does exist around us. So it just felt like a deep state energy around that. It's like we can take advantage of this. That's kind of something like that. It's like, look, what could happen? We can take advantages. Of course, in Mark Richards, denial, didn't do anything. You can say technically they gave me that vibration too, to see that, to put me in this position of looking at things differently. Now the thing is, Project Camelot, just that word Camelot, is very powerful. And if Bill Ryan was involved with this, none of this would be going on. So he has his reasons, obviously, for not being involved. But there's, I don't know where the future holds for Project Camelot and all after all of this. It's just, I don't know if I should. Yeah, it's kind of blocked anyway. But there is other corruptions out there that are going to be like, are very sticky, and it's just not everybody's going to tune into it correctly at first, and there is manipulations, obviously. For intuitive connections, that's how it works. But at least you're trying. You know, not everything's going to be 100%, but at least you're, even if you're wrong, at least you admit your wrongs and go into the, you know, you want to do the right thing, right? That's the whole point of it. So, you know, do the best you can. It's just, you know, this is a war for the mind, and humanity is going to get, see, doing the, you know, humanity is going to get an awakening too, you know, of healing. You don't see this stuff, you know, this is a very small community basically, but it won't be small forever. It will, the world will see it eventually. So it's just it's complicated. It's, yeah, it is, I think it is, it feels like it is. But yeah, because like the families are connecting more to the spiritual realms, they're involved with it. Obviously it's a horrible situation to be in, but this also shows, like, yeah, the Illuminati energies are involved in some shape or form, because it's a giant spiritual community. Project Camelot, whistleblowers and all that. It's like, we're not just going to let that just be out there and not screw around with it. They're going to infiltrate it somehow. So I don't know if there's other areas, it probably are, but at least there's 2 energies I can feel it where it's been infiltrated. So, and once again, the information isn't really going anywhere, because it really felt like, I don't know what direction they could have went. Even now they can go, I don't know, it's like they I don't know what it is, but they got like a tip or something. Hey, why don't you look at this? No, I'm not interested. Whatever it might be, it'll help people grow, and they didn't do it. I don't know what the hell it is though. Yeah, it's kind of like we're telling the same stories over and over again. At least in that regard, in that place. I try to do that. I don't want to do that, but I do the best I can where I'm at. But when you have a platform like that, you know, I imagine you see quite a bit. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I have an idea. I don't want to make everything too public, but you know, we're going into a strange time. You know, and it's you know, a lot of those in this spiritual community want to connect to just positivity, and that's good. But there's a darkness that needs to be looked at and healed, so we can go forward, so we can learn from it and get stronger and connect to what's going on here truly. And that's really when your aliens and all that will somehow appear. I mean, they're here somewhere, obviously. So, you know, you never know. It's just, it feels like we're going into a time of, like, ascension isn't as easy as some might think. It is a kind of a bumpy road. Because, like, what you once loved, and you start looking at, is like, maybe I don't love that so much, and, you know, people that you looked up to, maybe you can't look up to anymore. You know, just the way it is. It's growing pains. Because I learned a lot from Project Camelot, you know, before I knew I can even channel any of these beings. But I remember hearing about, I think around 2008 I found it, something around those lines. So Jordan Maxwell learned a lot from, David Icke learned a lot from. So, but it has been kind of, hasn't been really, I guess, in depth as it used to be. So it just feels like I can go into areas that can, it just feels like I can go into areas that can really help people grow, and it's not doing that. As for, not showing me images of it, but it's not important. So, alright, I figured I always go a little bit more in depth of it. So I felt like some of earlier, Market Richards' more positive higher self energies around, kind of healing the situation, help me understand some of this a little bit more. Basically, he's a sick person mentally, and he can get help, but he's not going to get it, and I don't know if he'll ever get it. So I don't, hopefully he doesn't have to go through another lifetime, bring anybody into, I mean, it just is a dark side there that it shows, I guess, troubled soul that does not know how to heal. And putting him in prison might help a little bit, but it's hard to say with that. It's not healing, not really. I don't think he's going to heal. Who knows? But there are ways for him to heal, but it has to do with people that are close to him to make a decision. And I don't think they're making those decisions. So it can, happen. So who knows? So hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to keep this one a little bit short. It is a little bit heavy. A vibration, not your normal connection, will go back to normal schedule. But I figure I put this out there. It's a little bit deep actually when I think about it. It's pretty heavy. But like I said, Camelot with King Arthur, Guinevere. That's right. Before I go, even there, looked like a great majesty, perfect place. You can learn. This is where you come for knowledge. Back in history, this is of course they call it a myth, but call it whatever you want. Place of magic. That was the other thing. And then it got corrupt over time. And it kind of seen the same thing happen again. Give you kind of an idea. So that was the other thing. When I connect to mythology and all that, I always feel like King Arthur time period. Just fairies, elementals, and dragons, and you could say technically we're kind of going back into that direction. But of course, Camelot is corrupted and not really going in that energy. But so we see what's going on, and we move past the old teachings because now we're not being taught the way we'd like to be, or learn, or however you want to word it. So we're going into a new age that is, the idea is to have this type of interviews or whatever it might be, and to grow and to heal ourselves and go into the next era of our higher understanding, basically. So that's the plan, and getting there is not going to be easy, as you can see. So hopefully it's helpful. Yeah, keep it short for tonight. So we'll go into something bizarre tomorrow, whatever I can come up with. It's the only thing I can think of today. It's the only thing that's coming through, so I might go into more insights of it tomorrow. So, alright, much love, blessings everyone, and have a great night.